Hey y'all. We are here to recap the entire season of Harlem on Amazon Prime. Listen here. It's gonna be spoilers, Chad. The whole season dropped at once, so it doesn't make sense to try to just talk about one episode or two episodes. So if you don't like spoilers and you haven't seen it, then go ahead and log out. Even though ain't nobody on here right now. Y'all niggas better not have been lying, talking about, oh, I want to talk about it. And then it's just us talking to ourselves. But it's okay if that's the case. Hey, Season.
Hi.
Wait a second. I got to change the order because I feel like normally this is the order. Like Bun Girl is on this side. Glasses Girl is on this side. So we gotta make it. Yeah, no.
What that nigga called? He called me yesterday.
Long. He called you glasses. You were glasses girl yesterday.
You were glasses girl. We're long cake face. I don't think
cat facts. The cat.
Oh, he said. Oh, he was saying, "Oh, girl was giving up her cat facts."
Cat facts. That was a good one. I don't think CA is going to be joining us, but I don't know. He might. He might because he was probably disgruntled about that barbershop scene. Hey, MD Turb. Hey, Noemi. Okay. Hey, cuz. Brittany's in the chat. Hey, guys.
Hi, Brittany.
Okay. All right. Okay. So.
Oh, no insecure spoilers. Okay, we can't talk about
Okay, no, we're not gonna talk about insecure. This is all about Harlem. No, we have a Team Lawrence person in our insecure recaps who is very much disgruntled at the way that we talk about things. And I was just speculating on whether he will be here tonight. But anyway, it doesn't matter because y'all are here, so we're happy to have you. Okay. So I've never recapped a whole season at once and really went got all night. So I don't know. I'm about to be freewheeling it. But let's just start off with MD Terp says, I love Harlem so much. I'm telling my kids that's the real Sex in the City. And let me tell you something. That new Sex in the City reboot is whack as fuck. Not feeling it. So yes. No, seriously, it's terrible. And so anybody who was trying to sit up there and clown the black girl shows like, oh, y'all trying to be like Sex in the City. Sex in the City ain't even like Sex in the City no more. Okay, so make room for the black girl shows. They doing it the right way. Okay.
I've only seen the first two episodes.
I like Sex in the City. It's giving me exactly what it always gives. It's not giving me anything more, nothing less. It's like the first one. Minus
you think so? You talk about And Just Like That. Y'all like And Just Like That? Y'all like that show?
Only thing that I do not like is the fact that, well, do white women do 17-year-olds?
Ooh, girl, we didn't hear none you said, child.
Girl, y'all connections messed up. Okay, we're not here to talk about Sex in the City reboot and whack ass shit. We're here to talk about Harlem, that bomb ass black girl shit. Hey, okay, so everybody here, it seems, is a fan of Harlem. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, let's start off with the first episode. Now, y'all in the chat, be clear. We're all fans, more so me, more so Ashley, less so Season, but I had to drag them kicking and screaming because the first episode wasn't really like grabbing them. And I saw a lot of that on social media where people really weren't overly impressed with the first episode. And I was like, you got to stick with it. So, hey, Karina. Okay, give me your first impressions from the first episode and why you didn't want to stick with it. And how what episode did it change for you where you were like, okay, Reese was right. Starting with you, Ashley, because Ashley liked it quicker than Season did. So Ashley, starting with you.
Oh, okay. So I haven't seen it. Okay, do you have it where the first episode we got introduced? My phone breaking up?
Yeah, it's breaking up. Okay, you back.
You know I'm a giggler, so let me stop.
Okay. Is that better?
Well, your picture is frozen.
Of course, it's gonna be ghetto tonight. Okay. Dang.
Okay, you're back. You're back.
Okay. Thank you. The first episode. Remind me what was the first episode.
Okay, so the first episode. Okay, so let me walk you guys through it as best I can remember. It's been a couple of weeks. Okay, so to me, the first episodes are always a little bit on the struggle bus. So we're introduced to the four characters. We have Ty, who is lesbian. And she is a successful tech dating app entrepreneur. And so in that episode, the white guys come try to lowball her and she bosses up and I'm like, hell no, bitch, you're not gonna play with my money. You're not gonna come funny with my money. I think that was all the first episode. We have Grace Byers' character, what's her name? Light skin.
Jamaican.
What's her character?
Quinn.
Quinn. Okay, Quinn is like the rich, fashion store owner / designer. And so she's super unlucky in love, which I thought was like a really interesting like character, because you don't really have like the black woman that is black woman. I said woman. The black woman that is, traditionally attractive. Okay. Who like has like really terrible luck with dating. They always try to use that for, comedic relief for like, bigger woman or other woman. And so I like that they kind of made her like a little bit of the butt of the jokes. They kind of flipped the whole like light-skinned bougie rich girl character on its head. So I like that. You have Professor Megan Good's character. Chad, how I'm doing a recap. I don't remember these people's names. What's her name? What's Megan Good's character name?
Hold on.
I'm fucking up, y'all. Camille. Okay, Camille is the professor. She's an adjunct professor. I don't know academia like that. Apparently, a lot of people in academia, the intelligentsia, were quite turned off by the fact that, how would she be even up for professor? Blah blah. Look, it's fictional. Okay, how would Carrie Bradshaw have a closet full of Jimmy Choos on Upper East Side, being a damn newspaper writer? But she did. So like, let's suspend some disbelief. Anyway, so she is an adjunct professor who is single, and in the first episode she like has an almost run-in with her ex, the one that got away. And that is
fine ass
bitch. Y'all have to help me out. What's his character's name? Ty? Is Ty?
No, Ty's the vet.
Oh my god, let me Google some shit, y'all. I'm fucking up. Look, it's been a long ass day. Okay, so anyway, his character, she runs into him, and then we have the other character, Ian. Okay, so she runs into Ian, and then we have singer
Angie.
Okay, so Angie, I promise y'all I remember the show. I just don't remember the names right now. Okay, so Angie is sleeping on Quinn's couch. She is Quinn's roommate. And she is unemployed, but she had a successful record deal, and now she's still trying to figure out like how to get back to that place. Brittany says, I'm back, child. But did I miss saying how fine Ian is?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Okay, everybody, let's just take a moment. Okay, yes, Tyler Lepley is fine. Okay, he's fine. I love Tyler Lepley in P-Valley, which was the bomb. And so I'm like, okay, they're giving him a speaking role. He's not just outside smoking a cigarette. Like, go ahead. And he's a chef. By the way, Ian is a chef who went off to Paris. We don't know much at the first episode about what happened with their relationship. We just know that he ran off to Paris. And to me, I felt like from the first episode, it kind of made it seem like Ian just like screw ran off on Camille. But we find out later on that that's not what happened. So, okay, what else happened in the first episode? So we are introduced to the characters.
That's pretty much it. You introduced to the characters, and Quinn goes on that dumbass date.
Oh, that's right.
So Quinn goes on the date into Long Island, and they
right?
Again, I mean, they have a lot of like bougie New York stuff in here. Like Long Island is, I guess, trash for people who are from Harlem. I don't know, but anyway, so there was a big deal about she went on a date into Long Island. Now, I will say this. I thought it was a little bit unfair how people were like, oh, she left her purse with that stranger. She was on the date with the guy. Like, it wasn't.
She was at a bar. I don't consider. She was at a nightclub at a bar, and she left her purse on the stool.
Yeah. Well, no. She said she was.
And she only left it because she saw a chick eyeing
her date
was flirting with another girl, and she wanted to mark her territory,
which was stupid as fuck. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I don't think it's fair that people made it seem like she was just at the bar talking to some random ass guy.
Oh no, that ain't what
she
happened.
like left her purse with a random guy. Like she was on the date with the guy. The guy was a scumbag. She obviously had super bad luck, so that was stupid. But I mean, it was her date, and yeah, she didn't know him, but I mean, people sometimes leave their stuff, with somebody that they're on a date with. I don't think that
I had a dude steal my flat iron on a first date.
What? Okay, well, where was your flat iron at? Was he in your house on the first day, Ash?
Oh my God. I had just came from the beauty supply store on King and Western. I met up with him at Fat Burger down the street on Dinker. And I was sitting in the stool. He was across from me. And like the day, first of all I ordered was a shake. He had a full-on meal. And he was like, so we gonna split this, right? Nigga, I
get out
the fucking shake. And so
how old were you guys? Were you guys like 17?
No, I was like 21, 22.
Okay.
I was definitely like back. It was like the summer of freshman year. I went on a date with this dude. Okay. Yeah.
You was a baby then.
Year. I was a baby and I was dumb.
Wait. You said he had a bang? Wait, what I missed about a bang?
No. All I ordered was a milkshake, and he asked, can we go? He was like, you got your milkshake? You gonna take care of that? Like, I had to pay for my own.
No, she's asking, like, why did he still, like, what did he need with the...
like, he's a gang... Is he a gangbanger? Was he a gangbanger?
I'm sure he is by now.
She don't know. This is my first time hearing this story, Ash. This is hilarious.
I never told you this, girl.
Okay, so he said he did not pay for your milkshake. Okay, and then what?
My milkshake. I came in with the flat iron, and he was like, "Where'd you come from?" I said, "I went and bought this flat iron." He was like, "Oh, my baby mama been wanting one of those," and I was like, "Oh, why?" Right? So I had it next to me. I was trying to get out of there so fast that I forgot it, and I got in my car, pulled out, came around the corner. By the time I came back, he was gone and took my flat iron.
So you left your
Quinn. So you totally relate to Quinn because Ashley got jacked by a gangbanger at her date at the Fat Burger.
It would take one of y'all cheetah sisters to make it a worse story.
Coming on season 2 of Harlem, Quinn's flat iron is going to get stolen on a date. Okay.
Listen. Here's my thing with the first episode.
Okay, yes, let's get back to the episode. Okay, season, your thing about the first episode.
I understand it's the pilot. They're trying to introduce all the characters. And to me, the only character who, like, my thing is, I need to understand, like, how old are these women? Where they get their money from? I'm nosy. Where they mama at? I need to understand, I need to understand more about a character. And at the end of the show, I kind of felt like I was comparing it to Run the World, where you understand, like, okay, you're dealing with women in their early to mid 30s. This is what they're going to be encountering. But with them, with the first episode, like this shit with Quinn, I'm like, okay, that's something some 22-year-old or somebody, a freshman in college would go through, like going on a date far as fuck, losing a purse, having to call their homegirl, like that's some early 20s shit. Then Angie was, I was like, okay, I was turned off by Angie. Granted, she's the raunchy one. She had a lot of comedic points in the show, but just her personality, I didn't really mesh with it. I did kind of see where they was going with Camille's storyline, because I mean, she tried to sleep with her student in the first episode.
That was funny.
She wasn't ready to do the booty work, so that was funny. And then Ty, I was like, damn, Ty is mean as fuck. But then that white girl got her back and stole her food. So it was a lot going on. But
Ty. Okay, so Ty, yeah, there is a character Ty. That's the black lesbian chick. Okay. Yeah.
I was just the introduction to the characters for me was kind of rough. And I was kind of left like wondering, like, okay, where is their maturity level? The same way I kind of worried. Like I'll be looking at Insecure, like, how old are these bitches again? You know, but I stuck with it. I did. But that was the first episode. I was just kind of confused, like.
But I don't think that. I mean, I didn't read them as immature. I think that, like, for instance, let's see. Trey Lovely says Quinn seemed like a super sheltered girl. She doesn't have much experience with dating or dealing with men. Like, obviously, she's very, very green behind the ears. Now, it doesn't make super a lot of sense because, for instance, we find it in the flashback, she was into banking and she's in fashion. And so that's not like the kind of field where you would have never had a relationship or anything like that. Like, well, she did date one guy, I guess, and we find out that he's married and has a kid, but it doesn't really explain why she's so desperate and like naive. They don't really, I don't think, really explain that part. But she's very good hearted. So at least the good thing is I think her character is consistent in terms of like, look at, she's allowing Angie to like sleep on her couch and like run up her Uber, account. She's like there for everybody. And there is a part of the show where they talk about how people aren't really as there for her. Like when she's going through things, like everybody's just like, yeah, whatever. So I think she's like a kind-hearted, open person. And maybe that's why she gets taken advantage of. But I don't feel like they were immature though. I just think that some of their decisions were a little stupid. Now, Jennifer raises an interesting point. She said the writers, wanted us to connect Quinn to colorism and white privilege proximity so that the writers have room to hash out a story later in another storyline. I don't really feel like they went so heavy-handed with like, normally it's very heavy-handed when in terms of like the light skin, then, attractive, wealthy, or, wealth adjacent Black woman is the one that has it all together, has a perfect life, has this perfect, she can get any man she wants. Like that's normally what they do with her kind of aesthetic. And I like that they didn't go that route with it, and I like that they weren't super heavy-handed, with the exception of, there were a couple things that were heavy-handed, but for the most part, I didn't feel like they were heavy-handed with trying to make much of a statement. I feel like they let things be a little bit more organic. But Ashley, what is your take on like your introduction to the characters and like what switched for you?
I think with me, the first episode wasn't necessarily boring. It was uninteresting because it was like, who are these women? You're not giving me any real background to them. And not to say I want to know their full story, but that first, like Angie was annoying as fuck. Like her jumping on that girl couch and doing all that. It got to me. It was like, why is she just like disregarding and disrespectful in her friend's home? It just didn't make sense to me. And then Quinn going to this bar, getting jacked for her purse. It was like, okay, I wouldn't be on a first date in my late 30s and not keep my purse near me or not have my purse with me all the time. So it was just weird. And even with Camille, I mean, of course, Megan Good, she's fine as fuck. I can look at her just drink milk on the fucking screen. So I didn't have no real issues with her being Camille. But once Tyler, what's his last name?
Ian.
Ian. Once Ian came on that screen, I was like, okay, I may have to give this a second episode. I may have to go and give it a second episode.
Yeah, I think that's...
So he's why I gave it a second chance. Because like,
I'm with you, Ash.
It was not an interest. It was, to me, it was not a strong pilot episode. It could have absolutely been stronger. But by episode 2, I saw a little bit of progression. So that's what kept me interested. By episode 2, I was like, okay.
Okay, so let's talk. Well, let's go down one person's path, right? Let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about, which is Ian and Camille, and who was the other guy? Jameson. Was it Jameson? Did I get Jameson? Okay.
Jameson is a student, or is that's the girl?
No, that was the activist guy.
That's the guy who like low key cyber stalked her to get with her.
Okay, so
is that crazy? That turned me on. I like that.
Wait. Okay. Let's go in order. Okay, so as best I can remember, in order, right? So Camille runs into or avoids running into Ian. Then she ends up running into Ian at their mutual friend's engagement party, which was creepy as fuck. The Titanic shit. It was very bizarre. Only to find out that Ian is there. And he doesn't really say much, his little British, exotical woman. I don't know what her racial background is, if she's not black at all or if she's just mixed. I don't know. Anyway, homegirl comes in, like, oh, Ian, blah, 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 whatever. Then they go outside, they have a moment, and Ian is kind of like, to me, leading her on in that moment, like, you should stay. They share a kiss, and, then homegirl comes out, breaks the party up. Ian shows up at Camille's door. She spills her heart out to him, only to find out that Ian is engaged. What the fuck? Like, I wanted to punch Ian, but also, here's a tip. When a man shows up at your door, let him speak first, because then you won't be moated as fuck spilling your heart out. I hate, like, women always do that shit in these shows. Like, oh, wait, let me go first. And they end up looking dumb. So, always let the person who came to you speak first. Ashley, your reaction to that part.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I was thinking. Girl, shut up. Shut up. Yeah. This man is coming to tell you something that you probably need to hear before you say all this, because it could change your whole mood. You know, I can understand being in that moment and your emotions are running so high. You're so happy to see your fine ass man back. Like, I can get that. But it's like, he clearly has something he needs to say to you. So I would have, that pissed me off. But when I was looking back at it, at what moment would it be for him to say, I'm engaged, while they were at that function, right? Like, when
like, this is my fiance. The fuck? Like, hi, meet my fiance, this bitch. Like, hello. So he was hedging to me by not saying anything until after she spilled her guts, even though, in fairness, he was going to say whatever he had to say.
Should the fiance have said something though? Or is she just like off the hook?
She was ditzy and lighthearted. She probably didn't even think twice about it. I mean,
I don't think
she was. They made sure she was a kind of. Yeah, they made she had a dingbat personality.
I think that because she's not black, her spidey senses weren't going up at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a black woman would have been, who is this bitch? Like, hey, how you doing?
Ring, his fiance.
Yes. Fiance, darling. Like, we would have 100% flexed on the bitch. I don't give a fuck. If I
walked in, what? When she walked up, I looked for a ring. She did not have on a ring.
I wasn't paying that close attention. But
she didn't have on a ring.
Yeah, you gotta look for the ring. I wanted to see that ring.
I don't recall ever seeing. I don't think she had a ring on until she didn't have a ring on when we first met her, though.
Yeah, and that's an even better reason to be like, fiance, hey fiance, shit. She, what was that? What they in France? Isn't fiance a French word? Fiance, the fuck, yeah, bitch, you ain't getting out of this situation. That, but it sounds hey fiance, what are you doing outside? Like, he would have been like, bitch, what is up with that? I don't know, like, you talking to this bitch, then I'm a flex. But anyway, so she was slipping and he was hedging, but okay, so we get that far, right? Then we continue to have these Noemi says I'm French and I'm dying. Look, for real, like, we know, for every black person knows French. We know fiance and we know fiance. I mean, I don't know how the fuck is a different emphasis, whatever. So that would have been the first thing off the tip of my lips. But so Camille humiliates herself by, spilling her guts. You don't think, okay, Season, go ahead.
No, I mean, so that's, I was like, Camille, you a dummy. I mean, first of all, she avoids him on the street. Then she's all jittery and anxious about going to this engagement party just to literally fall into his fucking arms and start kissing him with his girl in the motherfucking party. Like, bitch, she went from 0 to 100. She kept doing it all through the damn show. Like, when you don't pump your brakes ever, like, you do all this overthinking and you do all this fucking talking and running your mouth, and then it's like your brain shut off. Like, where are we? Like, I don't know.
But
I
in fairness,
don't
I
get
mean,
that.
he
Like
could have
how,
just been a date. Like there was no like this my girl, this my fiance. I mean, to me, it gave me that's a date and
but
that's
how
a relevant bitch.
pitiful are you to be up there kissing on a nigga who's at a party with another woman? Like to me, that's
I mean,
pitiful
I
Just
feel
behavior.
like
okay.
that's some
In the
shit that
comments,
bitch would
is
do.
that pitiful? I don't know if
That
that's
is
pitiful.
pitiful. If I
I
ran into my ex and he was at a party with another woman,
If your
introduced us,
ex, okay, if your ex was Tyler LaPlay, okay, let's put this in context. You and him were madly in love, and only reason you guys broke up was because now, I mean, of course, now that we know all the background, right? The only reason
baby, I
you
don't
were the
care
one that
how
left
fine
him.
he is. He would now when he showed up at
It's
my
soulmate part
house.
two, though. He
If he
fine
showed
and he your soulmate.
no, I
Season
don't.
is not here for it.
I'm
Brittany
not here.
says she was given too much desperation for me.
This is what
I think
I'm saying. When he showed up at her house later, I understand sharing a kiss at that point. Like,
but not
I'm with you. Let him talk. You know, like, bitch, where's your pride? Like, what are you
Okay, you
doing? Let
saying at
him
the
chase.
party, not necessarily her getting back with
When
her
she
at the
kissed him
party.
at the party, I was like,
Okay,
okay, this bitch is wild. She's dumb. We
okay,
really just wasted a whole episode on her talking about how
avoiding
she don't
him.
want to see him. She not tripping off him. Like she wasted our time. They wasted our time with that just for her to lean in and kiss this nigga for no fucking reason because she took a puff of weed. And then when he
he was
showed
giving her googly eyes. He was
I
giving her
mean,
googly eyes.
hey,
I'm saying if she would have waited until he got to her house and confessed his undying love for her, okay, drop the panties, girl. But you doing the most. She did the most for me, and I was like, Camille,
She
you.
did the most from a little. I agree. If you don't take into account the history, which I'm with Ash on that. Now,
I
hold
don't
on. Now,
care
let's
about
move
the
on. Let's move on
history.
because we got a lot of stuff to cover. So, okay. So I do think it was funny. The next kind of exchange that we see with them is that Camille is having work issues. Her mentor, who was going to get her the professor gig, has been fired because she was canceled because of rally. Some of that shit. I'm really sick of the whole cancel culture thing. I don't even want to have a fucking discussion. But um here's the thing. So she goes to try to prove that she is really out there in the streets, and she also happens to really be tired of the gentrification that's happening in Harlem. So she stages this big speech outside of this new hot French restaurant, and as luck would have it, Ian is the executive chef there. So the deed has already been done. She's called for a boycott. Everybody's all up in arms, and he ends up being like, "What are you doing? You're trying to sabotage me." I thought it was bullshit. Like there was nothing that indicated it was his restaurant, and I thought that was very narcissistic of him to think that whatever she had going on related to him. Ashley, what was your reaction in the comments? What was your reaction?
I mean, now that season done made it clear that the girl was desperate at the party. He probably like, yeah, you on my dick so hard. Of course you following me over here. Now that's all I'm thinking, like, because it was extremely narcissistic for him to come out, and it wasn't even after she tried to explain it, he still was going hard on her, like, you're here, you're ruining this for me, and blah blah blah. So it's like, dude, why do you think this girl is really after you? It could be because she made it kind of easy, like Trey said, to get the little kissy kiss. So that could definitely be a possibility. But I thought that whole scene and her, like, realistically, I would think, I know a chick from LA would have cussed him the fuck out. Like, it would not have been no arguing back and forth. You ain't about to go out for me out here in front of these people at my shit. Like, I don't care what you're feeling. You're not going to talk to me like this. So I think that seemed pretty unrealistic. I guess it could be on brand for her character, but with them phone.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely does not have clapbacks. Okay, I
She
think
doesn't, and she
I didn't
kept
like
putting
that.
herself in the position for him to just
Yes.
dig at her and make her feel some type of way. Like I didn't understand that entire dynamic. Like I get it, girl. He was the one that got away, but you're beautiful. You're successful. Like
Yeah.
make him chase you. Don't just let him pick up where he left off. And he got a whole ass fucking fiance.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a nigga who's literally stalking you to get your nut, like to go out with you. Like, what do you? Why do you keep doing this?
Speaking of Jameson, I personally was Team Jameson.
I was too.
We're introduced to Jameson where Camille ends up doing a panel as a last minute fill-in for Whoopi Goldberg's character, who really she played her character, but I wasn't like, yay, Whoopi. I was like, y'all could have made her like somewhat decent. Like it was just like be super bitch. And I don't really feel like the show needed that level of assholeness. It didn't add anything to it aside from making Camille seem even more neurotic and kind of unrelatable. Her interactions with that bitch was, to me, it just wasn't relatable. And also I just feel like it was there to try to denigrate what Camille was doing. Like, you're just on social media, you're just doing this, you're just doing that. And the reality is, a lot of times now to get tenure, they want you to have a social media presence. I have a friend who's a professor, and she talks about how her dean is like, you need to be on social media, you need to be expanding your presence. And so I definitely feel like it was one of those things that it was just nasty for no reason.
I didn't feel it was that bad. I think Camille was
okay. What do y'all think in the comments? Season thinks it was nasty. You don't think it was that bad?
No, okay, go ahead, Ash. But I'm with Ash. But go ahead.
Okay.
I think she was absolutely tough on her, where there was moments of opportunity to be more of a mentor than a boss. But at the same time, Camille was fucking up. You get what I'm saying? Like, she was doing shit. She wasn't being as responsible. And having tenure, I would think that, okay, so tenure means you have a lifetime position until you're ready to go. You can't be fired, basically. And to have that for this university, like, that would have to come with some level of professionalism that I see Camille is not refined enough to really fit, I guess, the demure of that position. Yeah. But it's like, I do think Whoopi had opportunities to say, you know what, girl, you really need to get your shit together. This is what you can do, and give her some tips and tricks. She kind of did explain that to her, and she put it on, which I think we all as Black girls feel at some point in life, that the way we behave is how they view all Black women. It's been like that for centuries. If you do something ghetto, they think all Black women are ghetto, you know? So I can definitely understand and relate to what Whoopi was saying. So I don't think she was that bad. I think she definitely could have been a little bit better, but for the most part, Camille deserved that shit. She was a fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I agree that you know, here's the thing. I think that she wasn't off base with her critiques. I think it was actually some of the shit that you think is cute ain't really cute. And I think that was what people was like, this shit ain't cute. You're a little neurotic. You're oversharing. You're thirsting, this, and the other. That ain't really cute. That ain't hot. And I'm not impressed by it. So I get that part. I just think that they never let her, her character was like never relatable at any point. Her character was just like super bitch the entire time, you know? But Camille was legitimately fucking up at times. So I'm not saying that her critique was wrong. I'm just saying, as a character, I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to see how she's gonna drag, you know, whatever. But now let's see. Jennifer said, yes, it was Columbia University. I think Whoopi's character gave her a chance. I think she gave her constructive criticism, but I don't think that she was a little I just think she was a little nasty in how she did some stuff. She was just a bitch for some of the reasons, not a bitch, but that's okay. At the end of the day, you know, Camille was clearly not qualified for the position compared to who they ultimately picked, which when Whoopi's character ran down his qualifications, she was like, yeah, I kind of need to step my shit up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I also think I don't know if they made this point that well or at all, but I hope that it at least made her consider that there are multiple definitions of success, and maybe being a tenured professor at Columbia is not the path because you don't have field work or whatever. Maybe there's another way that you can kind of find your own lane, because clearly she's in high demand. People want to hear what she has to say, blah blah blah. Anyway, now let's get to the Jameson part. So Jameson But one thing I will say I did think was a little disrespectful was how Whoopi's character made Camille like a subjugated to her student. Like, come on. That to me, maybe anybody in academia could tell me if that makes any sense at all. But if that's the case, don't even work with her at all. But I don't think that makes sense to make a PhD adjunct professor subservient to a student. That was stupid to me. But anyway, okay, season draw. I was like, she frozen. All right, now let's see. Let's talk about Jameson. Brittany says, "What do you think about the guy Camille ends up dating that did some background research? Is that stalking?" So let's talk about Jameson. So Jameson meets Camille on a panel after she's completely in the middle of the panel, she just has this overshare neurotic breakdown like she always does. And surprisingly, Jameson was not completely turned off by that. So, he ends up, because he's done some background research on her, finding her at Red Lobster, and they agree to go on a date. And so the date happens after something. Did the date happen after she went to Ian's mom's house? I forget exactly what led to the date. Or did Ian's mom's house happen later? Y'all remind me the order. But at any rate,
Ian's mom's house happened afterwards.
Okay. So she ends up going on a date with Jameson. They have this fantastic dream date. But the reason why, and they have night of passionate great sex. And then she finds out the next day when she is late for her appointment with the professor that the reason why this date was so perfect is because he did all this research on her. Now, Ashley, you said that was a turn on. In the comments, you guys tell me what you think. Jennifer says Jameson was not stalking in any manner. He had game. I totally appreciate his effort to mirror her energy. Now, is it... Okay, give me your thoughts as to why you were turned on by it. And then I'm going to give you my opinion on where I kind of I can go either way with it.
I think we always want a man that works smarter, not harder, first of all.
Okay.
And then also, he did some research to make sure that he did things that she would enjoy. I understand that it's a cheat code, right? Like, I gave you all the answers to the test. You went, you got them, and now you're acing the test because you got all these answers. It's not really genuine for, let's say you don't find out that I like games through us having a conversation and me telling you this fact, and then a date later we go out for games. You went on my social media, found this out, and then planned it. So it's like he kind of skipped a part of the dating a little bit, he did have communication, but at the same time, girl, you had a fantastic time with this man. His personality, had to come out in some way. Just because he took you to this certain location, he still had a personality. So I thought it was very attractive that he did some research, because I love a man that plans a date. Like, my man does not play. He plans dates. He sends me calendar invites. Like, I don't have to tell him, it's real in the field when you get a man that
be nice.
I love it, y'all. I am grateful. Okay. I'm grateful. But it definitely gave me, it gave me a good feeling.
So you're saying it's just taking initiative. It's like having forethought. But I mean, he also hadn't met her yet. So is it not a little bit overkill? Like, he had a whole dossier on her. I think that's a little bit overkill. But MD Turp makes a good point. He says, I wouldn't say Jameson was stalking, but he was being deceptive. That wouldn't have made me cut him off, but definitely would have taken me longer to trust him. That's an interesting way of putting it. Quinn says, if you don't have her number, what's the chances the woman who probably gets DM constantly is actually going to return your message? Good job, bro. Okay. Brittany says, I thought it was amazing. As long as people don't follow my locations. Yeah. I'm cool with learning what the interests are, not the who you be with. Okay. So, I mean, I think that there's different perspectives on it. I don't think anybody is saying that she should have cut him off though, which she obviously didn't. I mean, she was freaked out about it. Jennifer says the effort, chemistry, but he was willing to extend the effort. So everybody's like A for effort. Maybe it's a little creepy though. Season, where do you stand on the dossier that Jameson had on Camille?
I mean, I think he found out because he did this before they were on a panel together, right? So he found out they were going to be on a panel together, looked her up, did the research, and was like, I'm finna holler at this bitch, and I'm finna pull that. So when you look at it from like an innocent, like I need to like really step my game up, and I need to do my research. That's cute. I mean, I didn't feel like it was stalkerish. If it happened to me, I would have been like, damn, you did all that. Like, I probably would have been, kind of like, wow, that's a lot of effort you put into it. But I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't. I thought it was.
But it's effort because you dope as fuck. You get what I'm saying? Like, he thinks based off of what he researched about you, because he didn't look her up, like saw her picture and was like, ooh, I want her. He started reading up on her because they were on a panel together. Yeah. So the fact that, you really are interested in me that much to put in this amount of effort. You're not taking me on no cookie cutter date, asking me to go to Starbucks for some fucking coffee. Like, you really are putting in effort. So I'm like, yeah, I'm that dope. Nigga, you should be stalking me.
I agree with the whole pound thing, because listen, when I'm on Roland or if I'm on Clay and I know who's gonna be on there, I like to see, okay, who else is on this panel? Where are they coming from? What are their perspectives? Because I like to know what I'm walking into. I don't want to walk into a situation where I'm giving feedback and I'm caught off guard. Now, some people who come on the shows with me don't do that same research and then they get caught off guard, but that's on them. So I think he did the right thing of doing research on her. And I think that it's on your social media. And so if you're freaked out, maybe you should kind of consider about how much you're sharing on social media, because people can put a whole picture together of what you like and what you don't. Like for me, I share like, oh, I like this movie, or I didn't like that movie, or I like whoever, whatever. And so, yeah, people who are paying attention to you, people you never know exist are looking at your social media, and they might have a mental dossier. They may not have it on their computer. Like, that's a little weird. But I definitely think that, it was more effort. Now, where the deception came in was like, he was like, oh, you happen to like games. Oh, you happen to like this. Like, it was all like serendipity, and reality is you put effort forth. So I think but it's okay, because maybe he's a guy, he's an activist, he's an academic. And so not all of them are like Mr. Smooth, like Idris and, whatever. They got to put a little bit more effort. And so, or Idris, my bad. So some people just got to put some effort into it. So I say A for effort, Jameson. So anyway, they go on a date. Camille gets over the fact that she felt like he was stalking. And I like how their relationship progressed. Like, they were like boo loving all the time. They had great chemistry, which is something that we don't see on other shows where they have this like, I feel like on other shows where they have this like caught between two guys, it's always like the guy that they have like a mental connection with and he's nice on paper, but they're not really into. But I felt like she was really into Jameson. They had great chemistry, a great rapport. But Ian is still kind of like in the back here.
She's still fucking doing stupid shit, running up behind Ian. Oh, I'm just going to help him. Oh, I'm going to go to his parents' house. Bitch, get a grip. Oh, man. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you guys in the comments, do you think so? Okay, so we have a couple of things. Number one, let's just go yes or no. Party file or relationship file. Now I don't know if they were a committed relationship, but when Ian's mom runs into her and is like, oh, come to my going away thing, Ian's not going to be there. That was stupid, girl. You're not going to be there. Should she have declined the invite to, Ian's mom's going away thing? Just a simple yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when Ian offers her to make some extra money, which is always nice, everybody need a coin, to help consult with how to make his restaurant more black, more Harlem, should she have turned down that gig? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, explain to, so I get the whole Ian mom invitation thing, but where I don't agree is this is professional, it's lucrative, and I think that, it's not, it should not have been that big of a deal. Like Jameson, I don't think she should have hid it from Jameson. I think she should have said that, listen, I have a situation with him, but I'm fully committed to you, but I'm gonna make some coin off of this, and then that way you're not sneaking around like Brittany says, no, but tell Jameson. Like, was it the foul that she took the job, or was it the foul that she took the job but was secretive and deceptive about it?
You want to go first, Season?
I think that, first of all, 1 minute you out here protesting against the whole damn restaurant. Now you helping decorate. Baby, you should have backed out of that whole thing and watched. And once you found out he was involved, you should have deleted and not had nothing to do with anything involving this restaurant at all. Now you helping decorate. And then you not telling your boyfriend about it. Like, no, her head was, she was not in the right place. Her mind was not in the right place. Her
pussy was answering. I'll say it. Her pussy was answering.
But Melanie is right, though. She turned everything down. If everybody made all the right decisions, we wouldn't even have a show to watch. It'd be boring as fuck.
We wouldn't, but that's what I would do. I would have been like, oh, this your restaurant? Bet. Good luck with that. I would not be up in there helping decorate. Mm-hmm. Especially after I'm leaving his mama house feeling some type of way. She has too many. She's too she feeling invested. She's too invested. Yeah, to be professional with him.
Yes, I mean, she definitely was playing with fire. Brittany said she went to cheat though, so she knew what she was doing. Brittany said she knew what she was doing. Okay. And Trace, as of course, I mean, she flip flopped. She was protesting 1 second, now she's taking the money another second. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. But Jennifer says she should have never accepted his commission without asking Ian. What were you going to say, Jennifer? Because I didn't catch. Oh, what his motives were. Yep, panties were speaking. Yeah, I mean, I think though. I think that she should have taken the money. I think she should have been honest. And I think she should have kept boundaries. And I think her being dishonest made her more susceptible to Ian. But also, obviously, she took it because she wanted to be around Ian.
Anytime she came running to anything that involved Ian. Oh, I'm gonna be there. I don't want to go. I don't know if I should do this.
It's on brand for her. It's on brand for her not to know boundaries, because this is my thing. Even with Whoopi, right? When she first got in that room with Whoopi, she had diarrhea in the mouth. She wouldn't shut up. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so happy we finally got a black sister here. Like, bitch, I get it. I understand, but this ain't, you just met me. You just met me. All skin folk ain't kin folk. Figure out which one I am first before you come with all this like lackadaisical, unprofessional banter. And so then she did not respect the boundary when she kissed him at that club or at that party, right? And he had a girl inside. She didn't respect that. I mean, so this is for her to go out there and to be so vocal against this place, but then turn around and take a check to help this place. Aren't you doing what aren't you wishy-washy? Like, aren't you just like these white politicians out here who say one thing and go backpedal? Like, you're not sticking to what your original message was, all because of a nigga. You letting your pussy talk, and now we got you in this situation. Like, that's what it was. I don't think it was the money, because she ain't been talking about she broke, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she has a fabulous place. Yeah, but we do have to acknowledge that it wasn't one-sided. It wasn't just Camille, pressing her luck with Ian. Ian was looking at her, definitely feeling some kind of way at the restaurant where her and Jameson was looking all cute and shit, you know what I'm saying? One more quick thing, and then we're going to get back to the discussion. Party foul or friendship foul, yes or no? Quinn taking the client to, was it Mia? Was her name Mia? Quinn designing Mia's wedding dress. For $25,000.
Is that a party foul?
Is that a friendship foul?
Hell no. Take the money, girl.
Your friend gonna be a homewrecker anyway, so that's y'all scamming together. Shit.
Yeah, no, I would not be upset about that.
Yeah. Okay, you guys in the comments, Quinn, foul or not, and should she have if it is foul, is it because she didn't consult at first, or was it because Angie blabbed her mouth about it?
Stupid ass blusted her out. Fucking
yeah. I just think she should have said. I don't have an issue with her taking the money because you clearly having money troubles with your store. You don't want to take it from your parents. So I understand that. But I think it was foul. She didn't say nothing to the girl. You should
didn't have a chance.
You had a chance.
Well, she was going to. But at the same time, you got a whole, this is what I don't understand. You have a whole ass boyfriend. Y'all damn near living together. Y'all together all the time. Why the fuck do I got to clear anything with you about your ex who's engaged and has been engaged the entire time? Okay. So
I would still feel some type of way just because you didn't tell me. Like, damn, I'd be mad that I had to hear from Angie. I wouldn't be mad that you did it. I would be mad that I had to hear from Angie and not from you first.
Yeah, but also Angie should shut the fuck up. So Angie there's that.
She was so annoying. I don't know how people, if anybody
she was
out
fucking
there
on that stage in the stage bed.
Okay, so we're gonna get to Angie.
That wasn't that bad.
But let's finish getting through Camille and Ian. Now, let's see. I'm going back here. Okay, so shit comes to a head, kind of comes to a head when, what's her name? Camille and Ian and the white guy get kidnapped and have a near-death experience. And now, does Ian confess his love for Camille at that time, or do they just kiss and then they get rescued?
They just kiss and get rescued.
And
then when she get home or something like that's when she get the "Are we making a mistake?" text.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, he said the "Are you making a mistake?" text before they got kidnapped. So after that, here's the issue that I do have with with Camille. Bitch, he ain't confessed his love to you. He told you he was engaged. You ain't seen him take no moves. Matter of fact, going back to the party, he moving into the house, his mama house, with his new bitch. That was supposed to be you. If that, to me, that would have been done deal. And actually, she should have felt really stupid, or even if she decided to take that gig, taking a gig and then hearing, number one, your friend is designing your ex's wedding dress, and two, your ex is moving into his mama's bomb ass brownstone with his new bitch. That should have been enough for you to be like, you know what, I'm going all in with Jameson. But we know people ain't fucking smart on these shows. Yeah. But the bottom line is, I agree with you, Season. So I'm coming around to your thought that she was hella fucking thirsty for a guy who never once confessed his love to her.
But Jameson's also leaving though. Like, he's moving to Chicago.
Okay. Everybody's correcting me. Sorry. Okay, everybody's correcting me. I'm sorry. I was behind on the comments. So Ian confessed his love. What did Ian say? I forgot. What did Ian say?
Ian was trying to fuck before he died.
He was trying to fuck, y'all. Ian didn't mean that.
What are y'all talking about?
Ian knew that was the last key to get that pussy. Okay, he knew it.
So, in the comments, was Ian just trying to get the draws, or was Ian being sincere?
Trying to get that damsel in distress booty.
He trying to get that good.
Okay. So Ian did confess his love, but then old girl goes back home and lies. I would have said I got kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? But because she been lying, she can't tell the truth. So obviously, Karina thinks that Ian loves her. Okay, so that's fine. So it does. So here's the other wrinkle too. So Jameson is obviously all in with Camille, and then Jameson is like, well, shit ain't working out with Columbia, but you can come to Chicago with me. And it's like, oh, here we go, Camille. Why the fuck does all your relationships have to move in order to go forward? So, it was Mira. That's her name. I think Ian really don't want Mira. He won't come. I mean, we kind of know, but at the same time, like, I just feel like Camille had a really good thing going on with Jameson, and she was like still a little bit like dabbling in the Ian zone. But
Ian is here. Jameson is leaving.
But
we didn't find that out until the end, though. We didn't find that out till like the last episode.
No, we found out maybe. Yeah, it was towards the end.
After she didn't get her tenure, he was like, "Well, hey, you can come with me."
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I just kind of feel like Jameson wasn't 100% sure bet, but Ian was engaged, so that should have been the end of that, really. Yeah. But okay, we cannot continue to talk about her choice without talking about the flashback episode. I think that it made sense for me, and you guys in the comments chime in. It made sense for why Camille was so stuck on Ian, and why Ian still kind of dabbled a little bit in toying with Camille, at least his feelings, because they were the perfect couple, and he was like a struggling chef, and they were all set to leave, and Camille, being a neurotic fucking asshole who just is irrational, got all freaked out and bent out of shape, and basically threw her whole plan out the window with Ian, because her punk ass bitch ass mama stood her up, and she just freaked out. I could not relate at all to Camille's complete breakdown. Like, to me, that made me be like, girl, fuck you. Like, it just, to me, I was like, I'm team Ian on this situation, because Ian was a good guy and she fucked him over for literally no reason. Like, I did not feel like her reasoning was justified at all. Like, not at all. No, because I was pissed. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, Camille? You're a bitch. I can't believe you did Ian like that. Like, Ian's
a bitch.
Okay, sorry. So wait a second. Let's just talk strictly about the flashback episode. You were team Camille on the flashback?
I think that if we're going to apply Lawrence logic to this,
oh God,
fought for her. No. He should have fought for her. You got a whole ass ring, bro, and you letting your bitch walk away. You already should know that she's emotionally irrational. You already know what's going on with her and her mama, but instead you let her go. And you got a ring.
So you're saying that you're saying it's on brand for her. He should have known that the bitch is a little cray-cray, and that shouldn't have been the end of it. That's your position.
I think that definitely was a moment of opportunity where he should have fought for her. You have a ring in your pocket, which means you want her to be your wife. This is one of those opportunities where she's irrational. This is not going to be the first nor last time if you're asking her to be your wife, right? So yeah, absolutely. He should have fought for his girl. What was the point of you maxing out all your dumbass credit cards if you're not at least going to tell her that you have a ring? That was dumb. I mean, yeah, she shouldn't have done it, but at the same time, like, he let her walk away, so they're both at fault for their breakup.
Well, I do think that Naomi makes a really good point. New York to Paris is a 6-hour flight. I've flown from New York to Europe. It is not even a big deal if you fucking take a red eye, you put your fucking eye mask on, your neck pillow, your fucking slippers, and a blanket on, and some snacks, get you a fucking glass of wine, and you take your ass sleep and you wake up in a whole another motherfucking continent. So, like, bitch, do you have any passport stamps? Because if you did, it would not have been that fucking serious. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going, it's either now or never for, like, fucking Australia. Like, I mean, it's New York to Paris. Like, that's like New York to, it's like just slightly farther than New York to LA. So, like, it was way like overblown. And then I didn't like that her department person, thank you, S. Murphy, getting her head too about how, oh, well, I'd sacrifice this, that, and the other. Like, girl, I think you should have stood a little bit more 10 toes down in your decision instead of being all fucking wishy-washy. But
I mean, that was
to your point, Ashley,
doing some white woman shit. That was, I mean, yeah, she listened to a white woman and did some white woman shit.
But I do think, to your point, and this is one thing I hate about these shows, is that, Like, if you have a ring, you know your bitch gets a little cray-cray sometimes. She got fucking emotional issues, and she's clearly having a breakdown. Then I don't know why you just never talk to her again. Like, you should have fought a little bit harder for her. So I can understand that part. But let me go to some of the comments and I'll go to you, Season. Even though she fucked over Ian, I don't like him. He had a bad light skin energy. But wait, Jennifer said 6 hours flight is a big deal. It's not. It's really not. Quinn says, get your money. Karina says Camille is weak and easily influenced. She said, where's Brittany? Brittany says, exactly. Thank you. They walked further for that cheesecake on Make It the Band. Thank you. Brittany is with me. Brittany is with me on the 6 hour flight. Okay. Let's see. If putting 20 on 10 was a person, her name would be Camille. Exactly. Okay, Season. Where do you stand in the Camille versus Ian flashback episode?
I think in the end, Camille made the right decision in not going to Paris. I felt like there was no reason whatsoever for her to completely uproot her life to go follow him and him study to be a chef. Now, I do think her breaking up with him is a bit excessive and wasn't well thought out. She didn't have to do all of that, but I don't think it was I don't think it was necessary for her to go with him. And then the whole, he had a ring in his pocket and, was going to propose. No, because here's the thing. I don't think what her professor told her was true. Once you get married, that may very well change the trajectory of your life. So I think if he would have proposed prior to her going, then she would have went out there with a different mindset and been like, okay, now I got to plan a wedding. Oh, when we going to start having kids? Like, no, she wouldn't have went out there with, I'm going to study, I'm going to write, I'm going to get a position, I'm going to do this. Like, it wouldn't have been just about her. So I think that him not proposing prior to them going was dumb.
A red flag.
It like, why would
But I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want to get proposed to in Paris? How would he think that on the
continent with a boyfriend?
But she already made that decision.
Boyfriend that's broke, y'all forgetting that part. He broke.
But he already made the decision. It's not like, hey, let me try to convince her by proposing her. She already made the decision. They already had lodging. They had flights. They had all this shit. And the
nigga didn't have no passport.
No, he had a passport, but it expired within 6 months. I think that's a stupid ass rule. A lot of people don't know that.
She should have. I don't think it was wrong that she ended up staying. I think it was dumb that she completely broke up with him. And I'm with y'all. That fool should have said something. He just drove off with a ring that he couldn't even use and hadn't spoke to her in years, and then came back in town and tortured her ass.
No, he did not torture her.
He knew she was a dumbass, neurotic ass bitch. And
he did know that.
They had been together for all these years. They were best friends. He knew exactly what strings to pull to get Camille to do whatever the fuck.
But wait a second. Where is Camille's agency in this situation for her to fucking come back down to planet Earth and be like, you know what? Listen, we're talking about a group of girlfriends. Because if you come to me, now I know her girlfriends wanted her to stay and all, but if you got me, and I'd be like, bitch, what? You mean to tell me that you waited until he was at the motherfucking cab and talk about you don't want to go no more and you broke up with him? I was like, that's a little extreme. Like, how did we get here? Like, we would have to have that conversation. I'd be like, you need to have a motherfucking conversation with him that's not in a cab that's waiting. Yeah. Like, that would have
said, she should have took another week or another month. She should not have broke up with that man. But,
no, she shouldn't have broke up with him. She shouldn't have been impulsive.
I don't think it was wrong for her to second guess her decision.
I mean, I deserve the right to do whatever the fuck I want. And if it's at the fucking airport gate that I decide that I don't want to go no more, then that's just what it is. I think Camille did it when it made sense to her. That's what I think she did. I mean, it may not have been.
I think Camille did it because
whatever, but I think she did it because in that moment it made sense to her. Yeah, I'm not moving across the fucking world with a boyfriend Nigga, if you don't go at least get a rubber band and put that shit on my finger,
I don't think she.
But she didn't say anything about the fact that we're not engaged and I'm doing all this for you. So that doesn't even factor. That doesn't even factor. The thing that
because he didn't have his shit together at the airport with the passport, and she was like, damn, I'm gonna have to be putting out fires and figuring shit. You know, I relate.
I'm not saying that women do not have the right to change their mind. All I'm saying is don't be a dumbass, inconsiderate, impulsive bitch at the cab and fuck this guy over and break his heart. That's what I'm saying. So I think they both share the blame for what happened afterwards and not reaching out to each other. I think they're both equally to blame there. In particular, I think Ian, if he knew he was going to propose, he should have said something instead of just being like a little bitch, wounded bitch, and going on and like not talking to her. But I understood from that episode why they both have that unfinished business. What I don't understand is if you really felt that way, then you should have stood 10 toes down on that and moved the fuck on with your life. Because that doesn't make sense that she never got another relationship. She never moved on. And yet she never called him or anything. Like that to me does not make any sense. But it's a TV show. And so they have to make it a little up the ante a little bit. Long distance doesn't work for everyone. If it works for you, here's your cookie. It's hard for most people. But I just think that it was stupid. But it's okay. At any rate. So long story motherfucking short, let's wrap up Camille's arc. She ends up getting drunk as fuck and riding along with Quinn to go deliver this. That wedding dress was stunning that Gwen put together. It was so pretty. And she sees, she runs into Ian at the venue. I think she should have kept her stupid ass in the fucking car. If you have to pee, bitch, it's probably a liquor. There's a lot of things out there. You don't have to go all up in the damn ballroom where they're getting married. So I think she was definitely a foul on that end. But they have this fantasy. You said you would want to see it?
I really nosy enough to want to see it in person. Nope. Yeah, I'd want to see. I would be sneakier than her though. I wouldn't be all up in there falling and shit. I mean, get in and get out, but I'd be interested.
Taking a sign and shit.
I wouldn't be doing all that.
Yeah, what the fuck was the sign thing? That was weird. Like, what? Camille is a whole dumb ass sometimes. Like, I like her, but I also be like, bitch, what is you doing? Yeah. But anyway, so she runs into Ian, and she pours out her heart to him again. Are you happy, bitch? Doesn't matter. That's Mira's fucking problem. And he cusses her out. Like, he dresses her down. Like, what the fuck are you telling me this shit now for? Blah, 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 blah. Mind you, this is the same motherfucker that was sitting up there telling him he loved her. And then, but okay, now we're not supposed to say I love you. That's fine. But they end up kissing and Mira sees it. Now, it's left on the cliffhanger, so we don't know if Mira is going to be like, I'm that bitch. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to marry this nigga just to be spiteful, and we might get it a no later. But you're not going to win. I don't know if Mira's that chick or what's going to happen.
She's like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah. So,
why were you kissing?
You guys in the comments, what is your thought? Who was more in the wrong? Like, okay, here's the thing. Do you, in this situation, did they both owe it to themselves to be honest about their feelings for each other? Or is Camille like completely foul for not just going the fuck home and letting this man do whatever the fuck he was going to do and going home to your boyfriend? Like, what do you guys think?
Who, me?
Starting with you, Ashley.
I mean, I think that Ian is the one that's in the most wrong because he's the one that got a ring he gave up. He's the one engaged. So I definitely think he's the one that has the most responsibility to his girl to be faithful. Do I think that Camille has no wrong in this? Nah, she definitely has wrong too. Because you know the girl, right? Once you meet her and you are
not really. She don't really know her. She's met her. That's it.
I mean, but when I say know her, I mean you know of her existence, right? Like you know he has a
and you know
fiance
she's got
named
spent
Mira.
$25,000 on that
Yeah,
dress.
you know you got a lot of details about this girl, and you've been in this girl's face multiple times. So you absolutely trifling as fuck for being at this girl's wedding venue. I agree. I think it Jennifer or Trey, I think that said it. Like I would have not went with Quinn at all. Like that would be the ideal situation. She should have told Quinn, go about your business, go on and do that. I'm gonna go home. Like that would have been the mature thing. But the fact that you done snuck your ass into their venue, you looked around, you tried to steal a sign, like girl, you doing way too fucking much for a nigga that constantly keep going off on you and don't even know how to process his own fucking feelings. Like honestly, Ian is showing me that she dodged a fucking bullet. He's a cheater. He's a cheater, and he probably abandons kids.
Oh gosh. Jennifer says, see, that's why I don't like Ian. His persona suggests any woman should want him. Light skin energy may be a big dick too. Jennifer does not like light skinned dudes. If CA was here, he would be having a cow, but I don't know. Maybe CA doesn't like light skinned dudes either. Okay, so maybe you guys would be friends. Okay, but okay. Here's the thing. MD Terp says, I want Miss Accent to be that bitch. Don't let the accent fool you kind of bitch. Here's the thing. If you can take them, bitch, you can have them. You're not doing me any favors. I don't feel like I'm winning. If this raggedy bitch can just slither her ass into the ballroom and confess her love, and you all goo goo gaga kissing her the night before our wedding, like, fuck both of y'all. So for me, I feel like, yes, it's trifling. Yes, it's foul. But like, isn't it more foul to get married to somebody that and you still in love with somebody else? Like, I wouldn't want that. I would not want that, So I just feel like, it's fictional, right? But I feel like people should be honest about their feelings, unresolved or not, and go on about their business. Like don't involve other people in your shit. Camille should not have involved Jameson, and Ian should not have gotten this far with Mira. MD Terp says Mira's gonna turn into some Glenn Close Fatal Attraction shit. I think she's gonna either boss up and be like, not boss up. She's either gonna like be like, I'm that bitch, and you're not taking my man, even if I'm only gonna be with him for, I'm just gonna do it just to show you, or she's gonna go on about her business and not give a fuck. She don't strike me as a person who would be that pressed. Because she kind of low key had a lot of sneak disses for Ian. Like, oh, I didn't really like him at first. I thought he was corny. Da 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 da. So she ain't really feeling like he's this big prize the way that Camille is on his nuts like that. Let's see. In the chapters, they need to work they out. It was unresolved love. It was going to continue to be a temptation when he got married as long as they was with Jameson. Yes. She should be saying deuces. Ian is all over the place. That's true. Now, see, I wonder if Ian would be like, I should have married Mira. You don't know. See, he is too flaky and too wishy-washy. He said, I'm not saying still marry him. I want her to wait till they're about to exchange vows and blow his shit up and cuss Camille out. But wouldn't that be more humiliating? I don't know. I would listen. No, I don't want to get that far because I wouldn't want to further the humiliation. Like, before y'all even get here, the wedding ain't happening. Okay, this nigga ain't shit, and that makes him an asshole, not me. But anyways, Ian was not operating from a position of I'm still in love with the love of my life. Well, what is he operating as? He was like, I have options. Ooh, interesting. Season, your reaction to the finale with Ian and Camille.
I mean, Camille's dumb and Ian's an asshole. And he gonna string both of these bitches along until it's time to walk down the aisle and marry Mira. That's it.
So you guys think, is he gonna marry Mira or is he gonna go run off with Camille? I think if Mira wants him, he might marry Mira.
He's gonna marry Mira.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. He's gonna marry
but
Mira.
But if he marries
leave
Mira,
Camille, and then Mira's gonna divorce him for whatever reason because he probably got a outside baby.
Yeah, next season will be about Camille dating someone else, trying to get over Ian, and then, I mean, yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, the chat is split. Some people think he's gonna run off with Camille. Some people think I think he's gonna run off with Camille because I think that obviously he's a huge draw for the show. Everybody knows, like, he's a good looking, and if he marries Mirror, I don't see what is his use of the show anyway. But let's see. But some people think it's more drama if he marries. Now, Jennifer says Camille's flakiness is evidentiary of how society ensures that Black women doubt her instincts. I do think it's a common thing, but I don't think it's just a Black woman thing. I think it's all shows that involve women and the love that got away. It's always like, well, what do we do? Do I go with this? Do I go with that? Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if it's a Black thing. Okay. We're done with that. Now we've been talking. I was like, it's going to be quick, and it has not been quick. So let's talk about Angie because she's a quick key and wrap it up. So Angie, like I said earlier, is she lost her record deal. She had a song that didn't really pop, and so she lost her deal when her record label was bought out. She's been like couch surfing. I did think that her whole being a nanny thing was fucking hilarious to come up with the dues for being in Get Out, which, by the way, Get Out was hilarious. I was like, is that a real thing? Like, how they made that whole fake Get Out inside of the show was genius to me. I thought that was like the best part of her plot. And I know there was a lot of like kind of commentary about how, well, why is the, thick Black woman, the darker skinned Black woman, like slutty and like the comedic relief and like, but I felt like she was more than that. I just felt like they had more depth than maybe what people kind of gave her credit for. But maybe I'm in the minority with that because I thought that her whole acting thing was really entertaining. And I thought that she was just really funny and just unfiltered. Ashley, what was your overall take on Angie?
She was annoying as fucking episode 1, and she kept it going through the whole season because she was just so erratic, like just all over the place, everywhere, and doing shit. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But the worst part to me was it's 2021 and we gotta apologize to white women. Like, I don't understand this shit. She had to apologize
and forget out.
Forget out, and this whole scene, and that was just infuriating to me. That everybody was forcing her to just for the sake of the show, and the show got canceled anyway. Of course.
Well, it got canceled because of her. So that was kind of like a little bit of like.
Yeah, but it was just like I definitely could have. I could have dealt with less of her. I don't feel like she really pushed anything forward with the show, and the fact that she was just so like. I don't know. She had no boundaries with shit. She jumping all over this girl's couch, and then she's having sex. I mean, just annoyed the fuck out of me, y'all.
I jump on my couch if that's any conversation. Some people like to jump on couch.
It's your couch. I would not come to your house and jump on your fucking couch. And I'm homeless, and I'm jumping on it. No, but it was just, I don't know. The whole nanny thing, now I did like that because it was pretty clever. She faked and got in there. Yes, I'm good for that. But that whole her having sex on stage in the stage bed and all that, it was like, okay, y'all doing way too much for this character. And I hated that it was such a like dark Black, it was a dark Black thick girl that fit into a stereotype. It was just
yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. It was only one like light-skinned chick on the cast. So somebody got to be the slut, or the slutty girl. Not slut shaming, but I mean, I just feel like I get it. It is kind of the archetype of, that they put like, browner Black woman in that category. But I also feel like it's also what you bring to the character and how you act it out to give the character depth. And I thought that she brought life to the character beyond just being a caricature. Like, I loved that she had conviction in terms of wanting to do her acting thing. And she was really focused on like singing and being an actor. And I really liked that. And she did have to sacrifice with the whole white girl apology, but she also did, the fake apologies, the fantasy thing was really hilarious. But I don't know. I just feel like there was more to it than that. So I don't think that it was all negative. I mean, MD Turp, a lot of people are saying she fed into the stereotypical dark-skinned, loud, ignorant ghetto trope. Yeah, but I mean, is there anything really wrong with being loud, ignorant, and ghetto? People call me ghetto all the fucking time because I curse people out, and I'm like, and your fucking point? What? That's not an insult to me. So I guess maybe because I'm like, I'm the loudmouth. I say that I'm the loudmouth black girl, and I don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody today was like, "Why you curse so much?"
Ouch.
And I jump on couches. Yes, I absolutely pop bottles and shit. And so somebody said to me like, "Oh, why do you curse all the time?" And I was like, "Cause I motherfucking want to, and I'm a grown ass black woman. I can use whatever language I want to." And then he posted some quote from Malcolm X about people cursing, not being intelligent. I was like, "What makes you think I give a fuck about what Malcolm X says about people cursing?" Yeah, like Malcolm X ain't my motherfucking daddy. I don't give a fuck if he says that people shouldn't curse because they're not intelligent. That does not mean anything to me. So, like, I'm here for the loud mouth black girls. Black girls be loud and be unapologetic. We don't have to make apologies for it. We don't have to kind of shy away from that personality trait so that it can be more tenable for other people. So that's how I like Angie. I like her being loud. And I kind of like that Ty kind of had that unfiltered, kind of personality as well. But I understand the critiques. But I'm just saying I enjoyed her character, and MD Trey says, I love the sex positive vibe on the show. They explored having a bi black man as a love interest. That was good. And MD Terp says, how many black women would get with the guy? Well, yeah. So I mean, I think that I like that. So anyways, yeah. So we've talked about Angie, but the whole basically the arc with her is that Get Out ends up on opening night being canceled because Angie wrote to Jordan Peele to complain about the lack of speaking.
No, it didn't cancel on opening night. It got canceled on a night that she was bumped up to a more important character.
Oh, right. Because so they did the dress rehearsal, and then when she was, but I'm pretty sure that was that
remember she got moved from a chorus member to the maid.
To the maid, right. But that whole no. And okay, so what he says, MD Terp, no, Trey says it's different for you when you're big and dark as a woman that already counts against you in some circles. Plus she's loud and has no boundaries. I can understand that my complexion makes it a little bit different, but I still get called ghetto all the time. Like, it's not like people are like,
right.
Oh, yeah. What'd you say? Yeah, I mean,
I don't think any black woman, black women, it's easy to just dismiss us as ghetto, especially if we curse, if we check a motherfucker, if we don't, I've been there. People be thinking I'm the loud, ignorant ghetto sister out of the two of us. And I can be. Me and Reese, we could go toe to toe with some motherfuckers. But, I think my issue with Angie was she was just a habitual line stepper. I mean, that's all. She didn't have a lot of boundaries. She kept running over Quinn, and she, would monopolize conversations. But, she had some good zingers and one-liners. She was sex positive, and I did like her point of views on, race and cinema and things, and, white tears. So she went on some good rants. But at the end of the day, would I want to have a friend like her? No.
Yeah. But I like the friendship of them. Like, they all really embraced each other and celebrated each other. And I like that. I like that there was genuine camaraderie between the four of them. And I like that they were all very different in terms of their personalities. And so I think that what I like is that even though she was a habitual line stepper, even though she was loud, even though she was inappropriate on some things, that she was still very much embraced. And it was interesting when, like in the flashback, when Camille was getting ready to to leave, she was going to be the one to kind of step up and be the glue of, you know, them as well. And so, you know, I really like her character. And, you know, I like the friendship, but I understand. I understand the critiques. I understand the critiques. And I didn't write the show, so I ain't got to defend it. I'm just saying my perspective. All right. Now let's move on to Quinn. Quinn had, you know, an arc that I felt like I enjoyed her character. I thought it was different, and I really was not expecting to like her character from the first episode. But there was a charm and naivete about her that I really liked, and I liked that she wasn't like snooty at all. She was ride or die. I mean, she was like ride or die for Angie. Obviously, she was ride or die for Ty when she was going through, you know, her medical issues. And she was always the person who was like the right hand of every character and very selfless. But where I thought it jumped the shark just a little bit though was kind of like when she got with the stripper guy, which I don't think was a big deal. I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? They made a big deal out of it and he has the kid. But then when she kind of got a little bi-curious with the politician, which we saw coming, like she was given kind of like, you know, the vibes of like, okay, this is going to be a thing. But I don't think that the arc of her being interested in pursuing the politician, it didn't make sense for me. What do you guys think about that? Like, how did we get from she's like, okay, I'm not gonna do the stripper guy, he has kids, so like I'm dating him, we're super into each other, I'm trying to impress him by taking his son out, but then I'm gonna fall for the politician while babysitting? Like, to me, that part did not make any sense to me at all.
Well, it seemed like they just had a lot in common. You know, it seemed like they really had a lot with her mom and stuff like that. So it seemed more like a natural, easy conversation. At first, I didn't see it as something romantic on her end. It seemed more like naive and just going with it and enjoying that person's company and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being around them. But once they went bowling together, it was like, oh, okay, girl, there's about to be something around here because you're getting a little too friendly with this girl. She cute, you cute, she's gonna find you attractive in some type of way, you know. So it really was not necessarily a small progression, but it did progress into that versus just hopping into it really quick. But I mean, the dude is a stripper. I already knew when she took him to that party or they were around like all of those, like, you know, elite people. I knew she wasn't gonna tell everybody that he was a stripper. You know, she just seems like she's still worried about what her mom thinks, what that whole industry thinks, what people around, you know, in that time frame think. So I think Quinn just hasn't fully, I think she's still trying to figure out her voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she
That's
had a
true.
moment where everybody was talking and she finally expressed like, y'all talk over me, y'all don't give me the respect I need. She spoke up for her. So I think she's still trying to find her voice, and within that it's like I'm trying to also find, you know, the man for me versus the man that fits what my mom wants, the life that my mom wants. So it was, you know, it was
So
okay.
here is the interesting thing, because I'm getting a lot of comments
I didn't
about
like it.
it's related to her mom. And
Mm-hmm.
so is this, but help me understand where you guys are coming from with this. Is it she's rebelling against her mom? Is she trying to find solace in somebody who her mom approves of? So she thinks like if she gets with somebody her mom approves of, she'll approve of her. Like, where does that part come in? Season, what do you think about that?
Well, as a person who is married to a Caribbean person, I know how repressed they feel at times and
Mm.
how image is everything, how hard their parents are on them. So, even though it was a big step for her to leave her corporate job and pursue her dreams and do this and do that, um, she still had to find herself in other ways. And she seemed to have been up in the ante, like, oh, she's only looking at guys who end up being fake but they had great jobs and, you know, were
Mm-hmm.
catfish. Then she go from that to a stripper, and this is like, I'm just gonna let loose and do this, and insisting it was a one night stand. And then next thing you know, she's like, maybe I'm interested in a woman. So I think it's like her trying to find herself. It's also a little bit of rebellion and seeing if, I'm done being repressed. I'm done trying to seek approval. I'm done with all this shit. Like, I'm gonna go hard and really find myself. And I do think the fact that her mom liking the politician, maybe she does think that might lessen the brunt of her pursuing her in her mom's eyes. But to me, it just gave me like rebellion and like, I'm done being repressed and this ain't working over here. So I'm finna just go. I'm going wild out. But her mom was just so mean to her, and she never really stood up for herself. So she's acting.
Oh, and has a terrible accent. Ugh.
Jasmine, what was the accent? I thought she was supposed to be like Dutch or like some European, and then when they said Jamaican, I was like, Jamaican? Where'd they get that from?
You should have just stuck with your Whitney voice.
Guy, baby, you aged like spoiled milk, honey. She looking like 80 years old. Ooh, I used to love her.
Look 80, but I don't think that they needed to make her Jamaican. I know Grace Byers is Caribbean. I forget exactly from where.
I think she's St. Lucia.
She's from Cayman, the Grand
Cayman. In Jamaica. She said what she was.
Oh, she's from Jamaica too. Okay. But Jasmine Guy wasn't the right person to pull that off because she didn't sound like I thought honestly, I was like, oh, okay. So she's supposed to be like maybe a mixed European woman or something like that. But
Angie's
then
accent was better than hers.
And that was terrible as well. So I was very much confused. But I will say that it made her mom did make a little bit of it made a little bit of sense where her mom was like, I wanted you to have your own essentially, so that, build your own way so that you wouldn't end up like how I am with your father. But I don't think it really had the impact that like made a lasting impression. But at any rate, I think it's interesting what you guys are saying. And, I think that we'll see where it goes. I just think that it was a little sleazy having this epiphany while she was babysitting the stripper's son. Like, you could have explored some shit on your own time. You didn't have to bring little homeboy with you. But I did think it was interesting because she asked Ty for counsel and then she completely disregarded what the fuck Ty said. Because Ty was like, no, bitch, don't sit up there and string her along. But the politician is autonomous. She's grown. She know that homegirl ain't, a lesbian. And she really doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, and she decided to go on a date. So I guess that's on her to figure that out and not what Ty had to say. So let's go to the last person, which is Ty. Actually, I really loved Ty's character. To me, I felt like the way, like, her verbal responses to shit felt like exactly like how I would respond in a lot of situations. Like, what the fuck? Like, what she said? What the fuck?
Hella extra, but she is that mean ass voice in people's head. Like, bitch, what you looking at?
Yeah, like I felt like she was so relatable. Like, I mean, she just kind of like was like very real and raw, but she was also like a down ass friend too. So I really liked that about her character. And I thought it was interesting that they showed a Black woman lesbian character who's successful, and they show sex scenes, which we don't see like graphic. I'm not saying it was, like she had the most like shit body exposed. Okay, like Megan Good gave us one sex scene that they kept replaying the whole time, and Ty was getting it in. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was really important to show that, because that's something that everybody wants to compare it to Wonder World. Wonder World did not have that, and I think that is a Black woman's experience that does not get explored with any kind of depth. I don't know. I don't watch 20s. I think 20s has some of that, but I'm saying, like, I thought it was really, really great that that they had her character. Now it's interesting. Jennifer says, I feel like the writers sold the LGBTQ community out by having her having a secret husband. I actually thought it was really interesting. I thought it was like plot twist, But I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for that community, and maybe if that was a sore spot, I hadn't heard that feedback. But I thought it was very interesting, and I thought that they dealt with kind of that tug of war really interesting. Now, I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of black men out there who don't appreciate that he's going to end up being the villain going after her money, you know. But I thought that that was an interesting plot twist that I did not see coming at
I
all.
did too. I really enjoyed that plot, and I was just so disappointed with how her friends were reacting to not knowing. Like, please, the complexities of that community, and especially she said she did that right out of high school and college age. Like,
Yeah.
people don't understand. Well, I mean, I've come across so many teenage and young members of the LGBTQ community who are just afraid of being totally shunned and shut out and mistreated by family. So the fact that she was living down south and tried to make it work with a man and hide her urges and her real attraction, I think that is some real ass shit. And the fact that she ran from it, and then she had the girlfriend who reacted so poorly to it. Of course, she's not gonna make that of course she's not going to lead with that or tell people that, because look how someone who supposedly loved her reacted to it when she should have understood, you know. So I just
Yeah.
thought I was so disappointed with like how Angie was like, why you didn't tell us, and da-da-da-da. Like, bitch, chill. Like, that is nothing personal towards you. You have no idea, just because you see this beautiful confident Ty doesn't mean she didn't have struggles or a past with who she is. So why would anybody take that shit personal that they didn't know she had a husband? She don't have a fucking husband. She has legally she's married, but clearly she is not stashing no damn husband somewhere. So I did like that storyline. Ty was one of my favorite characters, and I liked it. She was the only one that I could really that honestly, like, I fast forwarded through a lot of like Camille scenes. I wasn't interested in her, especially when she was with Ian. Like, so I enjoyed her storyline, her character, and I get it. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought that it was interesting. I thought that it added a lot of depth to her character, and because they always showed her as like she's super confident. I mean, she did have the whole. We're going to talk a little bit about the whole white woman dating part, but I
Yeah, that's
think
the only time I roll my eyes at Ty. Like, man, do we really got to do this?
yeah, but I think that it showed that there was something that she really hadn't come to terms with. Even though she's super successful outwardly, she's on the cover of Forbes, or she had a Forbes, feature and all sort of kind of stuff. I thought it added some depth to her character in a really interesting way that I didn't think was like cliche at all. But like I said, I'm not from the community, so I can't speak on it. Now Ashley, MD Turb brings up that she ends up dating a white woman because that person is the one who ends up writing the Forbes article. And so then there's this thing like she's the creator of a dating app that excludes white people because it's only for people of color. And then here she goes on a date with the white woman. And so she has that struggle, which she ends up saying like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to date you because you're white. And I won't feel comfortable with that. Like, what is your reaction to that whole plot?
You know what, it really gave me that whole, it made me think of that, can a black man be pro-black with a white wife? Right?
No.
Like, can you be for the people and you got a white wife? Because when I think about it, it's like, your kids are going to be raised by a white woman. It gave me that type of feel when I saw it, but it felt realistic. I really enjoyed what they did with Ty because they gave her so many different facets, right? You didn't just present this big boss chick who don't take no shit. You're showing that it took something really traumatic to get her here to build up to this person. And now she's dating this white woman and she's facing this whole, when they were walking down the street, she was seeing all the people that was looking at her and giving her those looks of like, you with a white
Yeah.
woman, all of that. So
Yeah.
it's like that shit is real. I hope I don't necessarily give the shit face to people when I see them with, someone else, but I know that that absolutely happens. So her insecurities and her feelings is coming from that. I mean, it's like, yeah, girl, I would question my blackness too, because my whole premise, my whole career, my whole life is about creating this space for Black people, for people of color. And now I'm not even finding someone of color within my own space. So it's like, well, does your app even work? Because aren't you the demographic your app is for? So I could definitely see all of that coming out from dating a white woman. I mean, the girl, I don't know. The white woman was annoying as fuck though. Like, bitch, you took my food. You took my food. Like,
and she probably stood on her couch while eating it.
Yeah, right. That's the ultimate deal breaker. But I think what's interesting is that it was really not about blackness per se. It was about her brand. And I think that in reality, a lot of people out there have a brand and they make decisions based on how it looks. Like, what does it look like if I'm dating a white woman and I have an app? My claim to fame is an app that is, exclusively people of color dating each other. So I think it was more of a brand thing. But I also think it might be a little interesting because, it kind of puts in that kind of notion that, well, you have a choice. You don't have to date a white person. Like, you could date a Black person. So if you're dating a white person, then you're selling out. Like, that's like, people have that attitude. I'm of the mindset now. I'm like, I don't care anymore. Like, younger me, I'm single and all the, growing up in Cali and LA and it's shit. Black girl, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, oh, who gives a fuck? Do whatever you want to do. You will get a side eye though if your app is, you can't have no white people on the app and you dating a white girl. So that you, for the brand, for the money, for the culture, she had to go ahead and make that move. Even if people can live
for vegans and I'm over here tearing up a fucking burger. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, you seem like you're a hypocrite. That's what it looks like to me.
I think what annoyed me, where I tapped out on that whole storyline, was when she showed up to her Forbes photo shoot with the wig on, and then the white girl comes and gives her this Black is beautiful speech, and I'm like, really, bitch?
Yes.
This white woman shows up to make you feel beautiful in your Black skin and natural. I was like, yeah, and I was like, I think I asked you, I said, is this the rest of the show? Do I have to see her fall in love with this white woman? And you was like, no, they get rid of her. And I was like, all right, I'll keep watching. Like, I'm not gonna do this.
I mean, I think that was probably put in there to interrogate the whole notion of being a sellout, and are you being racist if you don't want to give a person that you actually like a chance because they're white? But is it really, like, do we really need to have that discussion? No, probably not. But I thought it was still interesting. I really didn't care one way or another. Now, what I do want to talk about though, which to me was crazy how big of a deal. And this is the problem with social media. They hop on one clip and it was the barbershop scene. Now, honestly, the barbershop scene didn't really stand out to me because I was just like, okay, it's for the purposes of her having a bad hair day. So I guess, and like I said, it really doesn't like stand out to me. The guy was being disrespectful, and so she storms out in the middle of her haircut. I thought it was equal. I mean, people were pissed off about the barbershop scene. I thought it was actually absurd that she would go to a natural hair salon and her hair would be fucked up. Like, they literally specialize in Black women's hair. So I was more like, now that seems stupid, but that created all this controversy. Now wait, Jennifer saying, why does our business have to be driven by our internal moral compass? White men are allowed to tell everyone's stories through their adventures. Can we do the same? Yeah, we can. We don't have to. I think we put the onus on us to do shit that other people don't even bat an eye at. Like I said, the whole like, well, why does Angie have to be loud and ghetto? It's like, well, why not? What's wrong with being loud and ghetto? But anyway, back to this. Did Ashley, what was your reaction to the barbershop scene? Was that something that stood out to you?
You know, when I hear about a barbershop, I think it's like all these fine niggas standing around, talking talking about nigga shit, cutting hair, It was just
Yeah.
like, damn, why is this what y'all be doing in a fucking barbershop? I'm never sending my son there. Because it was just the ignorance and the constant just trolling her. You get what I'm saying? Nobody saying nothing, nobody stepping in. Y'all just really letting this nigga talk all this shit. So it was like that scene was so obnoxious. But then she goes to this natural hair, and you think fucking black fairy godmama about to really hook her up, and she come out with some bullshit. And then the only savior around is fucking white Jesus that she fucking. Come on now. It was just way
In
too
fairness,
much.
the white girl did not cut her hair. She cut her own hair. So the white girl just said that it looks good.
You don't need that wig, baby.
Exactly. Why did the white girl have to be the one to save you today when you done went to so many different black? Like that was like, dude, y'all just keep stacking it on stacking it on stacking it. That made no sense. I understand the overall plot. She's having a bad day. This girl is showing her, that she's this and that. I get it, but it was annoying as fuck. Cause I'm like, why did nobody punch this nigga in the face?
Well, it was very controversial because people who do not watch a show about 4 black women, and all they saw was a clip go viral because somebody was like, I don't want to be that guy, but this is harmful to the black community because there was a scene showing a black guy be disrespectful in a barbershop, and they were very much offended by that. And they claimed that they have never, ever, 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 ever seen a black woman disrespected ever in the history. This will never ever happen, and so this is going to be a detriment to the black race, that this one scene that's 30 seconds long has black guys talking crazy, even like whatever. But MD Terp says the barbershop has some of the most misogynist, homophobic dialogue. Ty should have walked out. So somebody out there lying, because they swear up and down, they swear up and down, they swear up and down that will never happen, and it's slandering black men. Season, do you think, whether that's accurate or not, whatever, do you think that the show was slanderous to black men through that scene? No. I didn't think the scene was even that big of a deal, but like, what do you think about that being the takeaway from some people?
No, I mean, look at all the shows we've been watching. There was a scene in Queen Sugar when that old black man went off on some homophobic shit. There was a scene in Insecure when the barber walked in tripping on Nathan. Like, they get ignorant in them motherfucking barber shops and in safe spaces for men. So no, I don't think I think that was probably a very accurate portrayal. Like, oh, she thinks she a man, she up in his barbershop. Why should I have to change the way I talk and speak? Cause she here. Don't she want to be a man? Like, that shit is fucked up. So I would have left too. But I think that's like a blip in that. I don't think it was like making black men look bad. I think it was just kind of showing the struggles of being, non-binary or masculine presenting as a woman. Like, you still don't want to hear about women getting disrespected and slutted out,
Right.
So I didn't,
right.
I didn't think out. Yeah, because he was talking about how he fucked some bitch and this and okay, maybe not. If you don't want to hear, you don't want to hear it. But I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it made black men look bad. I think.
I mean, you have a black man who's a chef. You have a black man who's an activist. I mean, they didn't talk about none of that shit. It was all about this one scene. It was like literally 30 seconds. So I thought it was like whatever. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it was like a black guy show and they had a really what we felt was egregious scene, maybe we would throw a bitch fit about it. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, there are actual real problems that we could talk about. This barbershop scene is not one of them problems, okay? But anyway, the one thing, since we've talked about everybody, the one thing I have to say that I loved about it was I loved that the girls got together to watch a fake reality TV show. Yeah, I love that because I just feel like you know, there's so much shaming about Black women, and you watch that garbage, and that's messing with the Black race and blah blah. That was actually a one of part of the reasons why I created Black Women Views, because I want a safe space for people who pronounce woman as woman. Anyway, no, but I'm like, why do we have to pretend like we don't watch fucking, you know, MSNBC and Real Housewives of Atlanta? Like, we can like all kind of shit. Fuck y'all if y'all don't like it. So I like that they made it that it was lighthearted, it was fun. They got together for the finale and blah blah blah. Like, that was a small thing, but that was something that I thought was really funny and really cute. And I just feel like, yes, this is a show where I feel like they really showed very multifaceted, authentic Black women, and was really rooted in friendships. Yes, there were relationships and this, that, and the other, but what was rock solid was the friendship that they had with each other.
Yeah.
Any last comments about the show?
They could have had better fashion.
What was wrong with the fashion? I thought the fashion was fine.
I don't think it. I mean, I think Run the World knocked it out the fucking park with the fashion.
Run the World fashion was bomb. Fashion and hair, yes.
Yeah, fashion and hair. I think they definitely could have done better with that. But overall, you know, I would give this show a solid. I would give it a solid 8. I would. I think it definitely gave me a way fucking more than Insecure, so that automatically takes it up to a 6. But and you know, you got Tyler, he take it up another notch, so there's your 7. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they really gave me a storyline that I really haven't seen too much of, that's what gave it a little bit more, because I really did enjoy Ty's storyline. I think, especially when the husband popped up, it was a shock. You know, it did annoy me that she just hopped on this, you want money, here's money, you know, and really didn't have, like, how is he living in your house and you ain't had a real conversation with him, you know, besides that. But I definitely would give it an 8. I think it was a good show.
Well, MD Terp says this last comment about the show. We ain't talk about how we got a peek of the stripper's whole booty hole. Oh my God. Y'all didn't remember? Y'all don't remember the booty hole?
I did not see no light skin booty hole across my TV.
Big anus, pure booty hole. It was a big. I was like, waxed? That is his whole booty hole.
Was it waxed?
You know, it looked waxed. Everybody's. Okay. How did you guys miss the booty hole? It was so graphic.
I totally missed the booty hole.
So the stripper, when he's like on, like he's like on 4, kind of going up. It was all butthole. I was like, I don't think I've seen anus like that on. Yes, go back and watch it again. Watch the stripper scene.
What episode, MD Term? Tell us what episode. What
was that episode?
We get some.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, I gotta see this, because ain't he
it was whole booty hole. That should have made more news than the barbershop. I think the booty hole was a little bit more like shock value than the barbershop. Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys did miss it. You guys definitely missed it.
I didn't miss that shit.
Okay, I'm going to a couple comments in this season. You get to have the last word. Jennifer says, I'm good with the fashion. It felt realistic. I agree. I thought the fashion was very realistic. It didn't feel like, oh, these are women who have a fashion budget that far exceeds their living budget. MD Terp says, I'm gay, so I didn't miss that shit.
Episode 4.
Episode 4 is the booty hole. And now Noemi says, was there a booty hole double? Okay. I don't know. Everybody missed the booty hole. Trey Lovely says the fact that Black women have a hard time when dealing with the medical industry, the doctor almost getting tied killed.
Oh,
that was a huge thing.
Medical racism. We got our registered nurse. Okay, registered nurse. Give us a quick minute.
And I have to say, I would not be me if I did not bring up that my girl, Vice President Kamala Harris, has been a champion and really highlighting and advocating for changing medical racism and the impact that it has on Black women. She's talked about this as it relates to Black maternal health, but also what Ty was dealing with. Now, it wasn't clear if it was fibroids or endometriosis or something along those lines. It kind of
she had
ovarian cyst. An ovarian cyst. So that's is that not fibroids?
No.
Okay.
No. Cyst is like a fluid-filled sac. Fibroids is actual tissue.
Okay.
And so, yeah, no, cyst and fibroids are totally different.
Okay. Thank you, Nurse Season, for clarifying that. But I mean, but there are reproductive things that Black women disproportionately deal with, like fibroids impacts 80% of Black women over the course, by the time they're 50, actually, not even like before they die, but by the time they're 50. And so I thought that was really important to include in there about how the doctor was dismissive. I thought it was really, really well done and important. And yes, Black women, we got to advocate for ourselves, as Murphy says. My doctor is a Black woman. Oh, and here is the thing too. Doctors disproportionately do not want to prescribe painkillers to Black people because they feel like we're lying, we're hysterical, we're exaggerating, or that we're gonna like abuse them. So it's there's so many layers that they addressed, but I like how they did it in a way that wasn't heavy-handed. It wasn't like this is the episode, like it wasn't like after school special, like this is the episode about Black women and medical racism. It was very organic for the show. Melanie says have had cysts and fibroids. Jennifer says cysts tend to target ovaries, fibroids are uterus. Hysterectomy sister here. Woo, yes.
All my doctors are Black women too.
Oh yeah, my OB is like I try to get Black doctors, or I've had good experiences with Indian doctors, Asian doctors, so a woman of color, but I do prefer a Black woman doctor. And then they always go right for the hysterectomy. And it was interesting because Ty said, like, I don't want kids, but I don't want to be told I can't have kids either. So there was a lot of layers there. But Season, you get the last word before we wrap up.
I mean, I'm not going to give it a number rating. I will say overall, I did like the quality of the show. I think that it leaves a lot of room for growth, which is a good thing because they didn't really cut off any storyline. So if it came out for a second season, I would give it a shot. I've always liked Megan Good, so I want to support her. And I would just have to put up with Angie, annoying as. I love Grace Byers, and Ty was my favorite character. So I say the show gave enough for me to come back and binge it. But it had a lot of room to grow for me. But the quality, it was good. It was cool.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. And I told you, remember I said Ty was my favorite character because I think you were saying, that you didn't really like Ty, and I was like, what? Ty is my favorite character.
Her first episode, she was popping off on everybody. Yeah, she cussed the bitch out in the boardroom. She was going off on the waitress. I was like, damn, why is she so damn mad? But then, she started to just be funny. Like, okay, this bitch just say whatever the fuck she want to say.
Yes, that's what I love about her. That's what I definitely love about her. I'm trying to find this particular quote.
You looking for the booty hole?
No, I'm not looking for the booty hole. Okay, I'm looking for a specific quote.
Send it to us in the chat.
Okay, I think I might have found it. Okay. Hold on. Work with me. Come on now. Come on. Damn. Okay. No, but I think you're so right in terms of Okay, I got it now. I think you're so right in terms of that it does leave room for growth. I think we've established who these characters are. We've established where they can go from here. And I love that it wasn't cliche, but it was still light and fun. That was the thing for me that I liked. I liked that it was light because I feel like everything is so heavy now. And it was just a fun show. It was just a really, really fun show. Now, what I'm going to close it out on is just the fact that there was a lot of eye rolling and kind of like pushback. You know, sometimes black motherfuckers, we ain't never satisfied. Like, why can't we ever be satisfied? We don't have enough black shit. And then when we get black shit, why are you doing that kind of black shit? And it just gets a little just grating and tiresome. And so I appreciate that this is another black girl show. Like, yes, I loved Run the World. But don't mean that just because we have Run the World, which is already completed and is coming back for a second season, which I think is wonderful, but it's not on right now, don't mean we can't have a Harlem. And I think we have to really step away from this whole notion that like, well, we've done that, and so we can't do that again, or we can't do anything in that realm because I mean, shit, how many friends do they have? And How I Met Your Mother and all these white ass shows that all are the same. If you ask me, I don't know. I don't watch them. But they got plenty of shows. I go on Netflix. I watched probably every crime thriller, murder mystery, whodunit on there. And I'm watching shit from Sweden, from all around the world. And I'm like, but when it comes to black shit, it's always the issue when you have something that people feel has been done before. I think that Harlem stands on its own. I think if you never saw Run the World, I think you're not gonna be like, oh, you know, this is just like this, whatever. My whole point is, even if you liked Run the World, I think you can still like this. I liked both of them, but what I was trying to find is this quote from Bell Hooks. Rest in peace, because I think that really perfectly captured what she said. She said, no black woman writer in this country can write too much. Indeed, no woman writer can write too much. No woman has ever written enough. And that's how I feel about stories about black women. We can't have too many. We don't even have enough. So shout out to Harlem. Shout out to Run the World. Shout out to P Valley. Shout out to First Wives Club. Shout out to Bigger. Shout out to 20s. Shout out to Insecure. Shout out to Queen Sugar. Shout out to every show, Our Kind of People, Queens, everything that's out there. If you're telling black stories, shout out to you. It may not be my cup of tea, but
Black
I'm
Jesus,
glad you're.
Because Black Jesus is funny.
What, is that a show?
Yes.
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Black Jesus? Oh my God, I'm gonna send it to you. Black Jesus is
hilarious. Okay, you have to send it to me. Yeah. But the whole point is black stories need to be told, and they need to be told in a variety of ways with a variety of stories and characters. So shout out to that. Let's keep making more stories, especially about black women, because I'm a black woman. I want to see it. And about black people, and let's make some that are actually fun, that ain't fucking depressing, that ain't all about a woke checklist, that ain't all about, you know, us getting motherfucking shot at, or, you know, whatever the fuck else. I like those shows too sometimes, but like, we need to have more black stories. So the next time another Harlem or Run the World comes out, let's celebrate it, let's support it, let's support hopefully another season of this. Let's continue to support the other shows that, you know, made the way and help build on this success. And let's just be great, y'all. So thank y'all. It's been 2 hours. And I didn't mean for it to be 2 hours. So thank y'all for sticking with us. It's been a really, 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 really fun conversation. And I guess we'll do this again when season 2 comes out. We're going to have to do Run the World recap on season 2. So we're going to do a Run the World recap. But that one came on weekly. I think that one came on weekly. So maybe we'll do a weekly one. But yeah, shout out to y'all for hanging with us and for the really, really fun discussion. Merry Christmas. We will see y'all back on Sunday for the series finale of Insecure.
Yes, finally. Ugh.
It's gonna be crazy, y'all. So see y'all on Sunday here. Bye, y'all.